In this video, we're going to explore the lives of 5 infamous individuals, people widely regarded as some of the most evil in human history. But here's the twist. Despite their horrifying actions, even these villains had moments of surprising humanity or accomplishments that left a positive impact on the world. Make sure to stick around until the very end, because the final person on this list might shock you with the unexpected legacy they left behind. Number 5. Adolf Hitler. We begin with the man whose name is synonymous with evil, Adolf Hitler. As the dictator of Nazi Germany, he orchestrated the Holocaust and initiated World War II, which resulted in the deaths of over 70 million people worldwide. His ideology of hatred and systemic genocide makes him one of the darkest figures in human history. But here's something many don't know. Hitler had an unusual soft spot for animals. He was a vegetarian, deeply committed to animal welfare, and oversaw some of the world's first animal rights laws. Under his regime, Germany became the first country to ban vivisection, experiments on live animals, and introduced strict regulations on animal slaughter. Practices like boiling lobsters alive were outlawed, and anyone caught violating these laws faced severe consequences, even imprisonment. Of course, these policies don't excuse his monstrous crimes, but they do reveal a strange paradox. A man who cared deeply for animals while showing no empathy for millions of human lives. Now, if you thought Hitler's animal rights advocacy was surprising, wait until you hear about the next man on our list, whose achievements might leave you conflicted. Number 4. Joseph Stalin, the Iron Paradox. Joseph Stalin, known as the Man of Steel, ruled the Soviet Union with an iron fist for almost 30 years. His regime is infamous for mass purges, gulags, and man-made famines that caused the deaths of millions. Stalin's paranoia led to the execution of hundreds of thousands, including his own allies and military officials. It's no wonder he's often remembered as one of the cruelest leaders in history. Yet Stalin also oversaw one of the most dramatic transformations of any nation in history. Under his leadership, the Soviet Union evolved from a backward agrarian society into an industrial and military superpower, second only to the United States. Literacy rates soared from 25% to an astonishing 94%, and life expectancy more than doubled during his time in power. Perhaps his most notable contribution was during World War II. Stalin led the Soviet Union in the fight against Nazi Germany, bearing the brunt of the conflict and losing 27 million citizens in the process. The Soviet victory at Stalingrad marked a turning point in the war, and their relentless push to Berlin ultimately led to Hitler's defeat. For better or worse, Stalin's actions shaped the modern world, and his legacy remains a complex paradox. But if you think Stalin's impact was profound, the next individual takes us in a completely unexpected direction. You won't believe what surprising trait history has uncovered about him. Number 3. Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, the mastermind of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, is widely regarded as one of the most reviled figures of the 21st century. His orchestrated acts of terror resulted in nearly 3,000 deaths on that fateful day and sparked a global war on terrorism that has continued to shape international relations. But in a twist few saw coming, declassified letters found on bin Laden's hard drive revealed an unexpected concern: the environment. He wrote passionately about the need to combat climate change, even urging Americans to save humanity by reducing greenhouse gas emissions. In one instance, he proposed launching a media campaign to raise awareness about global warming. Between planning acts of terror, he also had a surprisingly ordinary side. Bin Laden was an avid gamer, enjoying titles like Counter-Strike and Animal Crossing. He also watched popular anime like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z and kept a collection of funny cat videos. While these details humanize him to some extent, they do nothing to erase the atrocities he committed. If you thought bin Laden's environmental advocacy was unexpected, the next figure on our list might leave you speechless with the strange duality of their actions. Number 2. Kim Jong-il, the brutal reformer. Kim Jong-il, the second leader of North Korea, is infamous for his oppressive regime, which left millions starving and subjected countless citizens to forced labor camps. Under his rule, the nation experienced widespread famine, and his government engaged in acts of terrorism, including the downing of a South Korean passenger plane that killed 115 people. Yet, even Kim Jong-il made some attempts at progress. In the 1990s, he initiated limited economic reforms by creating special zones where small-scale capitalism was allowed. These zones remain a lifeline for the North Korean economy today. He also engaged in diplomatic efforts with South Korea through the Sunshine Policy, which aimed to reduce tensions and promote reconciliation. While these efforts hardly excuse the suffering he caused, they offer a glimpse into the complex motivations of a leader who, at times, seemed to recognize his country's dire needs. But if you think Kim Jong-il's story was complicated, wait until you hear about the historical conqueror who redefined terror while leaving a surprisingly lasting legacy. Number 1. Genghis Khan, the complex conqueror. Genghis Khan, founder of the Mongol Empire, is remembered for his unparalleled conquests and the sheer scale of devastation he left in his wake. His campaigns resulted in the deaths of tens of millions, wiping out entire cities and civilizations. Some historians estimate he killed as much as 10% of the world's population during his reign. Yet Genghis Khan wasn't just a destroyer, he was also a visionary leader who brought significant advancements to the lands he conquered. He championed religious tolerance, allowing people of different faiths to coexist within his empire. His administration was based on meritocracy, rewarding individuals for their abilities rather than their birthright. He also established a vast postal network that facilitated trade, communication, and the exchange of knowledge across continents. His conquests paved the way for a period of relative peace across Eurasia, known as the Pax Mongolica, which some argue set the stage for the modern globalized world. While his methods were brutal, his impact on history remains undeniable. If Genghis Khan's legacy feels conflicted, you're not alone. But now, let's take a moment to reflect on what this all means. Why this matters. Are people good or evil? So what can we learn from these 5 infamous figures? It's clear that even the worst individuals can have surprising qualities or moments of humanity. But does that make them good? Absolutely not. Recognizing these traits doesn't diminish the harm they caused. It only highlights the complexity of human nature. What's truly striking is how these figures weren't born evil. Hitler was an aspiring artist. Stalin studied to become a priest. Mao Zedong, who didn't make this list, was once a librarian. These individuals were shaped by their circumstances, decisions, and the systems they built around them. It's a sobering reminder that the line between good and evil is thinner than we'd like to believe. The challenge for us. As we've seen, no one is perfectly good, and no one is perfectly evil. It's up to us to strive for the best version of ourselves, while remaining vigilant against the darker sides of human nature. Who surprised you the most on this list? And what does this say about humanity? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.